Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Ask Pastor Keith. Pastor Keith, thank you for joining us once again. We'll jump right into today's question, which is, what are some practical steps that we can take to discern God's will for our career path?
That's
It's a big question.
Yeah, that's a big question, and the Bible doesn't have anything particular to say about that. I think it's just common wisdom and finding out, the path, or we call that life mapping. Finding the spouse or career path and spiritual ministry and all that.
Sure.
I think the new generation, meaning millennials and Gen Z and whatnot, and I think they are saying probably they'll change their career 3 times in their lifetime. And we have seen a lot in our church as well. There are people who invested a lot of time and money for studying for professionals like medicine or law, in your case, and then life changes and all that, and change career, recognize calling in their lives. So a lot of people change, and sometimes professional become baker or something else, like PT to pharmacy, and all that kind of changes. Therefore, I think just being faithful to the Lord and recognizing your family background, your personality, how you are wired, education background, and we commonly call Venn diagram, and how you are made. Recognizing that and being faithful to that is, I think, more consistent with the Bible's calling. The Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. All of us are different in that way. Bible also talks about our true meaning and joy comes in serving the Lord and living life according to His will and purpose. There are some people who expect too much from their work, as if it's going to give them significance or meaning in life. I think that is not the right approach. The work is important. What we do, how it contributes to the society, is very important. And yet, you cannot draw meaning year after year out of that work alone.
Sure.
There's your relationship with people, your hobby life, your leisure, how you spend your leisure, and your faith in the Lord, how you follow God closely. Therefore, it is, there's no such thing as a good job versus bad job. In fact, Bible is very clear about labor is sacred. Whatever work you do, whether it's called menial work or essential work, especially time of pandemic, or professional white-collar work, I don't think there's any difference. Bible looks at it as a labor, as a meaningful work task for human being. So being wise, expecting the right amount of expectation from your work that you can provide enough for your loved ones. And knowing that our true meaning and significance comes from the Lord, I think it will give us a little bit relaxed approach to work. And I don't really want people to think like God has this particular thing ready for you, and if you miss that, oh my gosh, rest of your life is all amiss. We shouldn't think like that. God is God walks with us. He doesn't give us a map and tell us to figure it out. He walks with us. He expects us to come, ask Him, and step by step follow Him. Sometimes, myself, I was an engineer, I was a businessman, and all along I was a believer. And then I, felt the calling to come to full-time ministry, and yet it's not out of question that I might go as a missionary later part of my life. Right? So it's not calling for a particular task per se, but closely walking with God. And career is a career. And there are other things that makes our lives more enriched and meaningful and beautiful and enjoyable. And I think that's where things should fall in the right place.
I think you already answered it, but maybe as a quick follow-up, what is a healthy way to view like your calling versus your vocational career path?
Well, calling, we are all called by God.
Sure.
We are actually called by God to walk closely with Him. The roles change. As I mentioned, you can be a pastor or missionary or lay person, or it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. We used to think the role is fixed for your entire life. And in my case, I become a pastor, a second career, and I'm gonna hope, God willing, will finish, retire as a pastor, and after that I'll be a elder Christian brother who mentors younger pastors or missionaries and things like that. So my roles change, but my calling to serve the Lord and to shepherd the flock in a bigger sense. And now, probably after I retire, it's going to be a smaller flock, meaning the leaders I will mentor in a different setting.
Sure.
So the whole thing didn't change. So calling is given to everybody to follow, and all that. Roles do change. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering those questions, and thank you all for joining us on another episode of Ask Pastor Keith. Please like or subscribe or do all the necessary things to continue joining us each and every week. Thank you.